Damn, Sam? Man, hopefully every week we don't get some kind of crazy Sam's bad day scene. Damn, damn. Alright, back to another rambling review. This review we're going to be looking at Game of Thrones. Season 7, Episode 2, called Stormborn. Alright, the way I'm going to do Game of Thrones reviews, man, I'm just going to, like, talk about, since there's so many plot lines, and so many, like, different places where stuff happens, I'm just going to, like, group each thing I talk about into one place. Like, I'll talk about all the Dragonstone, Daenerys, Greyjoy stuff here, you know, all the Cersei, King's Landing shit here, you know, all at one time, you know, and etc. on and on, like the North and all that shit. But yeah, so this one, let's start with Arya and stuff. So, you know, no. Let's start with Sam. Okay, so hold on, before we get started, I need to say one thing. If you watched my last video, the things I was saying about the Reddit spoilers at the end of the video and stuff, and to stay away from anything anybody tries to give you about Reddit spoilers for Game of Thrones, because somebody had leaked the Game of Thrones, the entire season spoilers on Reddit. Just based on these 2 episodes and what I've seen of the spoilers, yeah, they're pretty accurate and stuff. So don't look at anything else. Stay away from Reddit until the season's over, basically. Stay away from anything Reddit until the season's over. But let's start with Sam. So this episode, you know, this episode we get Sam actually meets Jorah and stuff, and we find out that it's not just Jorah. We all assumed Jorah's arm would be, you know, the worst, it would be bad because of the way it was before he left Dany and them. But now his whole freaking, it's like all over his chest and up a little bit of his neck and stuff, man. It's bad. What? Sam sees him and he's like, you know, he asks him who he is, and he's like, I'm Jorah Mormont. And before, you know, Sam could tell him who he was, Jorah's like, no, don't worry about it. Because fucking, you know, they had disavowed me years ago, they disowned me years ago and stuff. It doesn't really matter. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not related to them. But, so, you know, Sam has to leave and go with the dude, man, and so later on we find him in the library, and he's trying to ask the maester if he could, because he found like 2, procedures, man, that were thought to have maybe done something about grayscale. So they gotta tell me, like, no, the one doctor who did this died of grayscale, so, you know, like, just don't worry about it. It's not for you to worry about. Go on doing your fucking, like, cleaning poo and stuff. Duties, get the fuck out of here. Well, later on that night, as Jorah's writing his farewell note to Dany and everything, and he's about to cut his throat and stuff because, you know, grayscale. He only had like 6 months, I think, till his mind went away, but he still had years to live, but his 6 months and his mind was going to go and stuff. So what happened was, you know, Sam knocks at his door. Right as he's finishing the letter, Sam knocks at the door, and he explains to him that I'm Sam from the Night's Watch. I served under your dad. He was a good man, and blah blah blah. Now I have to save you and stuff. Well, he's like, but I don't have to do this, like, I got a procedure that might help you, but the thing is, this is gonna hurt like a motherfucker. Like a motherfucker. Like, this is gonna hurt bad. And Jorah, you know, but it has a possibility of curing you, but this is gonna fucking suck. And Jorah's like, okay dude, let's do it. You know, if this doesn't work, it's fucking I'm dead anyway, let's do it. Yeah. This fucking scene here, man. Ugh. God almighty damn. Okay, so if you haven't seen the scene, and I don't know why you haven't yet, Sam is going to take and cut the grayscale. Now, in the episode, I think he said he was just going to cut a piece of it off and then rub the medicinal ointment on it. on the spot. Basically, he was going to cut off the grayscale and apply Neosporin. But I've heard other people that I've talked to with this episode, they took it as he was going to cut off the entire grayscale thing. Like, cut all the grayscale off his body and just leave what was left under there and then wrap that up with this medicinal ointment and stuff. But I took it like, because he says, I think he says in the episode, I'm just going to take off like a patch of it on your chest. And that's what he does, and oh goddamn. They have to drink liquor and to numb the pain, I guess. And then Sam just went to freaking sawing off grayscale layer, and they showed it, and pus is flying everywhere. Man, that's okay. I can handle a lot of shit. I have seen some shit in movies in real life. I can handle a lot, but for some reason that shit was fucking like whoa and stuff, man. But yeah, so yeah, it was bad, dude. But so hopefully Sam will get like like hopefully Sam will cure Jorah. Stay away from Reddit. Alright, so this segues into the part where Sam is doing that to this guy eating at the end, and here's where we're going to talk about Arya. So Arya is at the end. She runs back into Hot Pie from season 2. I think it was the last time we saw him. I'm not really sure. It's been so long since I watched the beginning of the series, and it's been a couple days since I watched this because I've been trying to get caught up on all the Comic-Con trailers and everything, and I haven't had time to do this review yet. So yeah, she meets her and Hot Pie, or they're talking and blah blah. And I like how now that Arya is pretty much just like she's kind of like the Hound and stuff. She's just like tearing the bread up like a fucking wolf and shit, just eating the shit, bro. And this is where she finds out that Jon is now king of the North and stuff. And she finds out that Jon is king of the North. Well, she decides she's gonna ride north, go be with her family. Along the way there, she runs back in. She runs into her dire wolf from way back in season 1, episode 2 of season 1. Nymeria. And Nymeria's big as fuck now. She's like the size of a goddamn horse or bigger. And shit. She tries to get Nymeria to go off with her back to Winterfell. Well, Nymeria turns her down, literally just turns around and walks away, and she says, "That's not you." This is a callback to season 1. There's a lot of callbacks this season to prior seasons and stuff, which I think is really, really cool and stuff, man. It brings everything full circle. You know what I mean? Like everything, it brings everything full circle. But this is a callback to season 1 when she says to her dad that that's not you when they're talking about, like says to Ned that that's not you whenever they're talking about her being a, being Sansa basically. And stuff. So yeah, but the only thing is, man, I hear a lot of people been saying that they hope that, they don't hope, but they think that this, like, the thing when Nymeria calls her to abandon her to go into Winterfell thing, I don't think so. I don't think it has. I don't think it has at all. Alright, so, we segue from going to the north to the north. So, John's like, him and Sansa, it's kind of, they're kind of still like butting heads a little bit, and he's like, we need to go find Dragon Glass, and he gets the raven that Sam sent him in episode 1, and it tells him that Dragonstone is sitting on a mountain of Dragon Glass. And he's like, we need to go to see Daenerys, and we need to tell her about the White Walkers are coming, and all that other shit. And everybody's like, nah, like I say 80% of the people, including Sansa, are like, no, you can't go, we need our king here, and blah, 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 and everything. And he's like, well, I'm the king. Y'all chose me to lead. I ain't asked for this shit. Y'all chose me to lead. This is what we're going to do. This is what I'm doing. And Sansa gets all pissed. Oh, you're naming your people. The usual thing that happens whenever something like this happens in TV shows and shit. Oh, you're naming your people. You don't care about your people. You're going to go run and do this. And he's like, no, because I'm going to leave this place in good hands. And she's like, oh, who? And he's like, yours, bitch. And she's like, oh. Oh. Alright, well, okay, sure. I'll be the leader. Cool. Cool, John. I'm good. I'm cool now with you going to Dragonstone, because now I get to be the leader. So this leads John downstairs, and he's talking, and here comes little fucking finger. He starts talking all this stuff, man. He says something. I forgot what he says, but it causes Jon Snow to try to choke him to death about his sister. He said, don't you fucking touch my sister, or I will fucking murder you. John, that was such an amazing scene, but here's the problem. You did it to Littlefinger. Don't think this shit is not going to go unpunished. Like, something's going to happen, bro. Now, especially since you're fucking, like, you choked the motherfucker, now you're on your way to Dragonstone with Davos. Which is, you know. Yeah. But, I have to wait and see. So now, let's jump over to King's Landing, where Cersei meets with the Tarleys, Sam's dad. And his son, that was played by another dude last season, is now played by the guy who played Billy Bones in the Star series Black Sails. If you've never seen Black Sails, you need to go watch it, because it's fucking great. If you ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you're pretty much watching a TV show about just the pirate part of it. It's fucking amazing. I love pirates, and yeah. But yeah, so she goes and she's trying to get the Tarly, you know, trying to get allies in this coming battle with Daenerys and Jon. And she's trying to get allies, and you know, Sam's dad's like, I'll think about it and stuff, and he goes off, and Jaime goes to talk with him, man. And you feel bad for Jaime, man, because Jaime's like the only good Lannister in King's Landing right now. And you kind of feel bad for him, man, because he kind of, like, on one hand he has to put up his act like he supports Cersei, when really and truly you see in his face that he don't want to. That he thinks all of this is fucked up and stuff, man. And he probably misses Tyrion, too. But, so he goes to, go see fucking, you know, he goes to go see Sam's dad, and he's talking to him and stuff, man. He's like, I want you to get Cersei's back, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, son, one of my favorite lines in the whole thing, he was like, son, we Tarleys are trustworthy. We don't scheme, we're not schemers, and we don't cut people's throats at their own, we don't, you know, dishonor our guests, and we don't cut people's throats at their weddings. And I was like, damn, and nobody else said anything about that scene. And I was like, damn, dog, he just put you Lannisters on blast on Front Street. Like, damn. But yeah, so, have all that. You know, and then Qyburn tells Cersei that he has a weapon against the dragons. We go down to their big room underneath the Red Keep. And it's got like the giant fucking semi-truck sized head of Valerian. I think that's his name, the dragon that Aegon used to conquer Westeros and stuff. And Jesus Christ, that's a big fucking dragon head. You think Drogon and those other three, Daenerys got her big? No. Those dragon heads are fucking huge. So he goes down and he shows her this weapon, man. It turns out to be just a big giant crossbow ballista. I was kinda let down by that, because it's like, I figured it'd been something using wildfire, you know, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, yeah, it's gonna work because he has Cersei take the first shot with it, and it hits the fucking giant dragon skull and pierces the skull, so yeah. Will one of these dragons fall against the crossbows? Something much worse is coming with that. Much worse is coming with that. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what's happening in King's Landing. Now this segues to Dragonstone. So the beginning of the episode, Daenerys confronts Varys about how he tried to how he had Jorah spying on her. Now he tried to have assassins kill her and stuff. And she's like, how can I trust you that if, like, the moment you decide I'm unfit to rule, you'll just turn your back on me and try to put somebody else in the position? And he's like, because I do this for the people. I don't do this for me. I do this. He has like a really great answer, and you can't really say shit, right? You know, and then all of a sudden, next thing, right after that, somehow Grey Worm knew that fucking Melisandre was there. Melisandre shows up and she's like, "Hey, girl, check it out." She tells him that Jon Snow is now the king of the North, which surprises Tyrion, and Tyrion's like, "Whoa, Jon's the king? We need to talk to that guy. He's dope. That's my boy. I mean, I went to the wall with him when he first went to the wall. He was a Night's Watchman. I don't know why he's not now, but yeah, he's a good dude, man. We need to go talk to that motherfucker." And, you know, she's like, "Okay, send him the Raven," which prompts him to leave later in the episode to go to Dragonstone. And when he gets there, they can talk about their plan as long as he bends the knee. Now, we know this is going to work out beautifully. Can't wait to see this. Because Jon's pretty much taking on this goddamn King of the North shit role pretty seriously now. But I just wish he's so goddamn single-minded about the White Walkers. That Sansa's right in a way that he's so single-minded about the White Walkers and stuff that he doesn't see the rest of the danger. He just sees the one coming from the north through all the cold and shit. But then we get cut later on. Dany's talking about her plan, what she plans to do about King's Landing and stuff, and everybody is like, "Oh, we need to attack now," and blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, that's what my brother would have done. If he had this army at his back and 3 dragons, he'd have marched straight to King's Landing, man, and probably fucked it up." Well, she's right. Sarah's with a fucking faggot. Anyway, so they're going, they're talking and stuff, and she like breaks it down. She's like, "Well, can we get more scenes with her and Elena before Elena croaks?" Like, I want more scenes with Dany and Elena because it's fucking amazing. But she gets Tyrion to lay out her plan, which is they're gonna besiege King's Landing while with the Dorne and Tyrell armies, and then they're gonna use the Unsullied to sneak in and take over Casterly Rock. It's Tyrion's plan now. Man, that's wow. Tyrion, you're once again confirming why Tyrion is one of my top 3 favorite characters in this whole fucking show. But yeah, so you know, they all swear their allegiance to her, and you know, they all leave to go get ready to go because Yara's Greyjoy fleet is going to take the Sand Snakes and their mom, who I cannot pronounce her fucking name, to go to Dorne to get their army to come back and go to King's Landing. But Elena, Marjorie's grandmother, wants to talk to Dany, and they have a really good conversation where she's like, "Don't, you know how I lived this long? By not listening to the idiot men that tell me what to do." Which, that could work out really bad later for Dany, if not. So then we cut to the end of the episode, and my favorite part, and once again bringing back one of my favorite characters this season back into the fray. So yeah, so now we have, you know, the Greyjoy fleet, or that Greyjoy fleet, the Rebel Greyjoy. Is it the Rebel Greyjoy fleet? Yeah, the Rebel I'm gonna say they're the Rebels. The Rebel Greyjoy fleet is sailing to Dorne, and you know, Yara's about to bone the Sand Snake's mom, and you know, downstairs you got the Sand Snakes talking to each other. You know, you got Colleen from Iron Fist and the other 2. They're talking, and all of a sudden, man, their boat gets attacked. Boom! This thing drops down, and here comes motherfucking Captain Euron Greyjoy. This dude, I'm loving this dude, man. Like, I fucking thought his character was gonna be lame as shit last season, but ever since they gave this fucking hard-ass reboot on this motherfucker, dude, he is amazing. So this big, gigantic fucking sea battle happens. I think it's the first time we ever seen a ship-on-ship sea battle on Game of Thrones. But damn, man, that was some shit. They were like cutting people's ears off and their teeth and their tongues and shit because, you know, he sails, his ship is called the Silence, and because he cuts all their fucking ways of communicating off their bodies, tongues and ears and shit, so nobody could charge his rule, man. But he ends up killing 2 of the Sand Snakes. He ends up killing the oldest one and Colleen Wing from Iron Fist. I don't remember their names, but I think it's I think he kills the oldest one, which is the one that uses the daggers, I think. But she's the first one that dies, and then Colleen shows up with her whip, and it dies and stuff. And then, you know, Yara shows up and him and Yara fighting. It's a pretty good fucking fight until it cuts to where, you know, Theon, it shows Theon and he's fighting. And Theon, dude, you're kicking ass, bro. I don't know what the fuck. And it shows Euron has fucking Yara at axe point and he's like, come get her or I'm gonna fucking kill her. He's like, surrender or I'm gonna kill her. And he throws his, and man, he fucking reeked. Went devolved right back in the reek, man, and jumped overboard and shit. And so Yara's now captured with the Sand Snake Mom and yes. Now, what I hope happens with Theon, because I see a lot of people who are like giving up on Theon after this point. I think Theon's gonna have like a super duper redemption arc out of this. Like I think he's gonna be the one that saves Yara some way and stuff. Cause we see in the trailer, I think the last trailer they released, we see in that trailer that he shows up on a beach and stuff, and then there's fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about it. Anyway, I think he's gonna show up later with save Yara. That's not a spoiler or anything. That's what I think. I think he's gonna be the one to save Yara, and it's gonna be like some heroic ass shit. It's gonna redeem him, especially now that he doesn't have a dick. But yeah, so that's where the episode ends, man. Yeah, man, this was a really good episode. There's a lot of political stuff, man, till the end, and that's what Game of Thrones does best, man. But yeah, dude, I can't wait for next week's episode. This episode was the shit, man. And if you like this episode, you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe down below, and hit that bell so you know when I upload, motherfucker. And as always,
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you.